Okay.
All right. So
All right.
Pastor Dan and Jim,
Okay.
they have excised the gremlins, hopefully. Exorcised. All right, here's the theme. It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
Okay.
Right, don't mess it up this time.
All right. We're here.
There's only one of you?
All right.
I think we did it.
Woohoo. Welcome to Church Chat. I'm Pastor Dan.
And I'm Pastor Dave.
And the magician over on the computer is none other than James Adkins. James, who has solved all of the world's problems in the last 10 minutes.
And he's getting a foot massage.
Well-deserved foot massage, I should say. Not from one of us. It's a machine that does that. So, yeah, we started, and then it did some sort of weird thing, and it played the theme song twice, which no one complains about the theme song going on more.
I thought that was cool.
That part's awesome.
I want to say we were stuck in a loop where it was just going to keep repeating if we didn't.
It might have.
I just
Is
started
today Groundhog
Going
Day?
on forever.
I just started frantically pulling plugs until things
He
stopped.
did. He took out a giant wooden cartoon mallet and just started beating the computer, and we're back. We're back now, so we're glad that you are here with us on this Wednesday Church Chat. In just a couple minutes here, we are going to talk with John Big Nut Peters, who is the Ohio State superfan. So this past weekend for me, had the potential to be the greatest football weekend of my life. We had on Sunday the Cleveland Browns pull off, I dare say, the miraculous, and beat their longtime foe and arch rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to advance to the divisional round of the playoffs. Were you happy about that?
No.
You were.
Oh, my gosh.
Was your house going crazy?
Here's the thing, is everybody in my house just kept, like, this isn't real, is it?
It's unbelievable.
I mean, even going back to, like, the 80s with the drive and the fumble and all that stuff, the Browns have always had that element of the cardiac kids. Always. It's always a last second. They almost let somebody back in, or they pull it out. And this was the first time at any game I ever remember that they just jumped on the gas and did not stop.
It was fantastic. The first quarter was maybe my favorite quarter of football I've ever watched.
And they had every reason to lose. I mean, they
tried.
Devastated by COVID. They didn't even have their coach there.
It was so much fun.
They've had so many players who didn't even practice with them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, you're going in. And it was probably my favorite football game ever.
So we're going to get to the next game here in just a minute. I do want to say, though, if you're joining us, maybe this is the first time you're joining us, couple of things I want to let you know about. We are going to talk about church stuff here at some point. This isn't just a football show, but it was a big weekend with that, and so it bears mentioning. And
we like to open up about our lives a little bit.
Yeah, but we'll get to some church stuff in a minute. So then the second game happened, and it was the Ohio State-Alabama national championship game. Ohio State also devastated by COVID, as a lot of teams were. Ohio State, though, felt especially down, and so it was going to be difficult. So didn't end up pulling it off, but still, we're always proud of our Buckeyes, and just making it national championship game, always a big thing. So, James, I think we're ready to go ahead and give him a call whenever he and you are ready. I don't want to push you on anything you're doing today. I just love you and I believe in you. All right.
There we go. Wait, hold on. I got to pull him onto the stream now.
Pull him onto the stream.
Boom.
All right.
There he is.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, John.
I'm doing great, guys.
Good. Hey, I'm Pastor Dan, and this is, I know you've been talking with Pastor Dave Thanks so much for joining us today. I got a question for you. It's been just a couple of days now. How are you doing right now after a rough Monday night?
How am I doing? That's a very good question. I'm not doing the best as far as in the world of the Buckeyes because, as you know, the Buckeyes didn't fare very well the other night. But we're still down here in the Florida weather, and other than the game, we're having a great time.
Awesome. So you travel to so many of these games, just like, and that's just kind of your thing is going to. Do you try to hit every game that you can possibly get to?
Well, if the good Lord's willing, I mean, we just take one day at a time, one game at a time. We never look back, look forward, and we do try to go to every game. We have season tickets to the Buckeye Club and the President's Club at the Ohio State University, and so we have season tickets we purchase, and all the away games we try to make, and that's our form of vacation every year in the Buckeye world. As far as we use our vacation time for Buckeye games and to travel and visit different parts of the United States.
That's awesome.
That's very cool. And when you say we, I think we need to recognize that you aren't doing all of this solo, right? And so now, what did you go by? The First Lady, Mrs. Nutt. How do you refer to your better half?
Well, we used to call her Mrs. Big Nut, and then we thought we need to spruce that up a little bit because to give her a little bit of the glory of what she does behind the scenes. But so we call her First Lady Nut.
First Lady Nut. I like that.
Yes.
Does she appreciate that title as much as everyone else?
She does appreciate it more than Mrs. Big Nut.
I'm sure she does. So you were at the game, obviously on Monday. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like. This was a national championship game, unlike any others. But you were able to still go there. What was that atmosphere like? What was the experience like for you?
Well, it was a good experience. Obviously, we've been to the national championship game in 2002 out in Tempe against Miami, and the atmosphere there was just phenomenal. And then also a few years ago at AT&T against the Oregon Ducks in the championship game, and that was a great experience as well. This time it was definitely more low-keyed because of the COVID-19 virus, and the crowd wasn't nearly as big. However, that doesn't make it any less of importance being a national championship game for the players and for the Buckeye Nation.
I'm wondering. So I'm seeing on our stream. So you're not all make-upped up and all that this morning. I just assume you wore that all day, every day.
You know, it's funny. I have people I work with back in Clyde, Ohio, Whirlpool, and they'll come up to me at work and say, "Hey, I have my grandkids didn't know that their grandparents know the Big Nut." And then the grandkids will usually ask their grandparents, say, "Hey, is that how Big Nut looks like when he's at work every day, all painted up?" And, and we get a laugh out of that.
That is funny.
Do you get recognized? Like, do people ever recognize you, or is because of all of that, it's kind of like your superhero disguise, and so you can kind of walk around as your alter ego?
Well, it's funny because during Ohio State basketball season, during the week, due to the fact that time I get out of work at 2:30, and there's some games that we go to, we just don't have time to get painted up, so we'll go to the game incognito. And people will come up and say, "Hey, Big Nut, how come you're not all painted up for tonight's game?" So I guess people do still recognize me even without the paint.
That's awesome.
That's interesting. Good.
So I didn't know you are more than just football. You go to the basketball games too?
Well, we try to, yes. We'll buy tickets for basketball games, and we'll go once in a while to a game. Basketball is a different type of thing, though, because being during the winter season and the road conditions, basketball is a little bit more treacherous for us to travel because we live 2 hours away from Columbus.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, obviously you get all of your tickets and all that, but you have become you've become a staple of Ohio State sports, and I just wondered kind of what are some of the cool things that you've gotten to do because of this, people that you've gotten to meet that have been just really special to you.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're very honored and blessed to have the opportunity to do what we do. And it all started over a basket of cookies at a best dress contest. But we just like having a lot of fun in doing what we do and putting a smile on people's faces. As far as any kind of special treatment, I don't really feel or view that we get special treatment from whether it's the university or anybody else. We just kind of go out of our way to create excitement, create fun. And like I say, just it is what it is, and we take it for what it is. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't really view myself as a super fan. I struggle with that. I would rather view myself as a super humanitarian because of our scholarship program and paying forward and helping these kids out for college.
Yeah, and that was going to be one of my next questions. I love that was something that you started to do. Talk about your scholarship fund and how it is that that came about and just about how special that is for you.
Well, we were every tailgate party in Columbus, we would give out Buckeye necklaces, and that was our way of paying forward. Nothing in return. It was our gift because, in today's times, everybody always wants something for something. And it's like, no, we want to just give them away as a gift. So through people would try to give us money, we would not accept it. And then people wanted us to make appearances. So we were making appearances and they were giving us a donation for it. So we put it into a separate account, deciding whether we should give the money to like cancer research or Alzheimer's. So we thought, well, you know what? We got to do something with this money because it doesn't belong to us. So a good friend says, well, why don't you start a scholarship program? And I said, you know what? That's a great idea. So we got a hold of our local attorney in Fremont, Ohio, and we also said, let's start a 501c3 and give out money for high school seniors that are going to attend Ohio State. So that's what we do, and that's how we started accumulating money through appearances and fundraisers. And to date, we've given out over $159,000.
Wow!
And that's it's just, I guess, mind blowing for us, thinking that we've already raised that much. We're far from done, and we want to keep raising as much money for these kids as possible, as long as we are here. Because it's not what you take with you when you leave this world; it's what you leave behind. And that's the most important thing. We've got an endowment at the university now. We've given over $76,000. Locally in Sandusky County, we've given out, we just cut them a check for $51,000 for high school seniors. And guys, it's just been unbelievable. We are now in 9 high schools in Northwest Ohio, and we give out 11 scholarships every year for a total of $5,500, and it's our way of paying forward.
That is so
awesome. Very, very cool. And it's so cool to know that you have taken something kind of this accidental fame and turn it into something really great to help your community and to help some students. And kudos to you for doing that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. James,
thank you for the kind words.
James, what do we got in the comments? Anybody have any questions? I know we had a couple that were sent to us earlier. People wanted to know some stuff.
Yes. Kelly did want to say you're doing almost as good a job as Rex did.
Oh, yeah. You got to meet another friend of ours, Rex Howard from WKXA here in Findlay.
Yes. So, very nice young man.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So
my son had 2 questions. What do you think about the Jim Harbaugh contract extension? Was one of his questions.
Jim Harbaugh's contract extension?
I'm not really sure that does a lot of great things as far as for the rivalry of Ohio State and that team up north. However, obviously every Buckeye fan would love to see him get a lifetime contract.
That's funny because that's what I told him you would probably say.
But, the question is not, okay, do you re-sign him to an extension, but who else would you bring in to take his place? And they feel that there is nobody better than Coach Harbaugh, and I wish him well. But now, as long as the Buckeyes are playing him, I hope we keep beating them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his second question was, who do you think should replace Justin Fields?
Well, that's a good question. The Buckeyes are going to have many candidates for that starting position next year. Obviously, Stroud or Miller would be the leading candidate. I believe Gunnar Hulk is a senior as well. He'll be gone, the backup. But whoever they get in there is going to be definitely going to be young and exciting, and it will be a transition period for the Buckeyes offense.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch that. I was talking about that with my brother the other day. Just that they reload every time. You have somebody like Justin Fields so good, and then now you're going to get in some guys that are just as highly touted as what he was. It's going to be pretty incredible. Yep, very cool.
From Daniel Denhoff, we have a question. How do you get great seats for every game? And at every game, are you associated with Ohio State University as a mascot?
As a mascot.
I never I guess looked at myself as being a mascot. I mean, that's an interesting word, but I'm just a fan that does his own unique thing, I guess. And we're all there's a lot more fans that are crazy like me though too, that you don't see as much of that are painted up and stuff like that. But I mean, no, we have, like I say, we have season tickets to the Buckeye Club and the President's Club, and we purchased them. And then away games, we'll call the universities the first day they go on sale, because you got to do your homework. And so we'll check, and if we like the seats, we'll buy them. If not, we'll buy them through StubHub or Ticketmaster or something like that. And that's all we do. I mean, we don't go to NASCAR races. We don't go fishing. We don't go hunting. We don't take other vacations. This is our vacation for the year. I'm eligible for over 5 weeks of vacation through Whirlpool and Clyde. And First Lady, she's in healthcare, so she gets some time off, and that's what we look forward to doing.
That's excellent. Nice. Very cool. And you said First Lady's in healthcare. Hopefully you guys are all staying safe and everything. And I'm sure that this has been a hard season for you, just not being able to have as many Ohio State games to go to. I wonder if it got you a little fidgety.
Well, two things. We saved a lot of money and we saved a lot of face paint. I had a lot of peace on the floor at home watching the games on TV. Yeah. It was definitely a whole different world of being in front of your TV watching it on game day versus being in the excitement around all the fans and stuff. And I just love seeing the smiles on the Buckeye Nation's face when we go to the games. And, people come up and say, hey, how's it going, Big Nut? How you feel about today's game and stuff like that. And, the Buckeye Nation is very priceless to us. They probably have made me feel better or just as good as we try to make them feel. I mean, it's kind of it goes both ways. Because listen, guys, at the end of the day, I'm just John Peters, just trying to watch my team win the game. And if I can, make an impact on some young child's life or an older person's life and just put a smile on their face, then I know mission complete, because that's just how I was raised as a kid growing up in a Christian home and being in church every week,
That's awesome, man. You have found your life's calling and purpose, and you put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces, including mine. And I appreciate you and appreciate that you have taken this and that you do some beautiful things with it and help a lot of people. And so I hope to see you on my TV for years and years to come when I'm watching Ohio State games.
Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate the Buckeye love from you. And, like I say, I always say God, family, and Buckeyes. And, I got 3 wonderful grandchildren and 2 beautiful children. And like I say, I couldn't do this without First Lady Nut, because she is my rock. She means everything to me, and I appreciate the fact that she lets me be who I am as the big nut. Because remember, I still got to mow the yard. I still got to take out the garbage. I still got to mind my manners, and because we have to remember that we're all having fun with this, and we all we all have a lot of respect and love for each other, but most of all, we have to glorify the man upstairs because the good Lord.
Oh, I lost him.
Oh no! Did we lose him?
Oh,
there he is. He's back.
So,
Yeah.
do it without the good Lord.
Yep, absolutely, man. And you cut out for just a second there, but I think we all know what you were saying. God does really bless us in so many ways, and love to see the way that you are living out that blessing. One last thing, just kind of before you go, this is just something I was thinking about as we were starting this conversation. You are a Buckeyes fan through and through, and I think that there's a little bit of a correlation between, Monday night was a hard game, but it doesn't make you love the Buckeyes any less. I mean, maybe if anything, you cheer a little bit harder in those hard times, and we've been fortunate in recent history that seasons have gone pretty well, but there are those hard losses, and for us as believers, life isn't always perfect, but it doesn't change the fact that God is God, and God's worthy of our worship. And just like when the Buckeyes win or lose, you're a Buckeyes fan. There's kind of that correlation there that circumstances don't change how you feel about the Buckeyes. I was wondering how you feel during those kind of hard times as a Buckeyes fan.
Absolutely. It's easy to be a fan of a team when they're always winning, but you become a bigger and better and more of a fan after a loss, because you know what? That's when you got to show your true colors and show your true spirit, that the Buckeyes will be back, and they will win again another day, another game. And we're in the Buckeye Nation, we're tough people, because you go through tough times, and we're tough people, and that's just the way the Buckeye Nation is. And we'll be fine. We'll be okay. We'll get through it, and life is good.
Yep.
And from our resident church chat big nut, Kelly, she would like to know if you need any of her quarantine queen merch.
That'd be Rex Howard's wife.
Sure.
All right, we'll figure that out.
John, we appreciate you being on with us,
Absolutely.
taking some time while you're down there in sunny Florida. And thanks again for all the smiles you put on people's faces.
Well, please feel free to get a hold of me anytime. I'm always more than happy to talk to you guys, and you guys do a great job, and keep up the good work. There's a lot of love between the two communities of Fremont, Ohio, and Findlay, Ohio.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. We're not too far away.
And you can't go wrong with Wilson's Hamburgers.
Hey,
and,
that's right.
Tony's.
You're
Tony's,
making even more fans today.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, John. Take care.
God be with you.
You too.
Thank you. Go Bucks and God bless.
Thanks, John.
That's
what a-
that's funny, because as somebody who has had kids who've gone to
Yeah.
Findlay High School
Uh-huh.
and were starting athletes,
Yeah.
the friendship between Fremont.
Oh, well, yeah.
They are our Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean,
That's true.
the kids just, they didn't care who we lost to or what. They just wanted to beat Fremont.
That's fine. I'm glad that he took some time, and I wasn't sure if he would come on without his face paint, but he did.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
very cool.
Well, he said it takes about an hour to
wild.
get it on, but
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, because usually before the show is
Yeah.
when I get to talk to a lot of the people, and he was really relying on his wife, when in our conversations previously. So it's neat to see him glorify her in
Yeah.
that way.
I know for a fact that they were out having breakfast and hitting up the beach and some shops and stuff. So
Got to do that
Excellent.
from time to time. Well, that's good. I'm glad they were able to enjoy that down there in Miami and have a good time. It's cool to know the people. I mean, he's the kind of guy that you'd see every day or every Saturday when the Ohio State plays, the camera's gonna find him at some point in time, and to just know the man behind all of that and a little bit of his story and some of the really cool things that he's doing for it, just in ways to give back. He wouldn't have to do that, This could be a way for him to make a little money on the side. And to pay for the tickets and stuff, but he doesn't do that. He wants to give back, and so
if you're not a fan of the Big Nut on Facebook,
should be,
you go give it a like, and there are a lot of ways on there. It directs you right to the scholarship fund. And
one of the things that I appreciate, kind of taking this now to the church level, is I wasn't being facetious. This is a guy who's found he has a very unique calling in his life.
Oh, yeah.
A very unique calling. I would say no one else has a calling exactly like his. And he's found a way to fully live into that. And I really do think there's a spiritual aspect to it, to what he's doing. He's taking the thing that God has given him is passion and just this kind of ability to, to just be that kind of a public figure in a very unique way. And he said, how can I take this and do something good with it? Do something for the kingdom, do something for others. And the same thing is true for each of us. There's a lot of, I'll talk with a lot of folks. I was just having a conversation just yesterday with someone who's trying to kind of determine between their work, like their job, and what their mission is in life, who they actually are in life. And you've got to take all of these things that God has used to make you uniquely you and say, how can I use everything that I am to glorify God in some way,
and to speak into other people's lives.
Yeah, and if he can find a way to do it, there's no excuse for any of us. I mean, this is a guy who, and I love it. You might say your average guy works at a factory for Whirlpool, right, in Fremont, Ohio, and he just really likes some Ohio State Buckeyes, but he's found a way to make that a ministry and a mission. So what are the things that you have in your own life that you could turn into a ministry and a mission in the same way? I think that's a really cool example.
But don't you think you have to start where he does? And that is tying down your priorities.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Family.
Yeah. God, for him, it's God, family, Buckeyes.
Yes.
And if
so many times we let,
right,
the other things creep up.
Right.
In front of, even if it's idolizing our kids or whatever, we tend to let a few other things creep up in that number one spot.
Right. And so just think about that for a minute. He said, Big Nut said, that there are two things more important to him than the Ohio State Buckeyes. And we see how passionate he is about the Buckeyes. So how passionate must he be about his family and about his God, right? I mean,
right.
Like that, we should all be that passionate about our family and about God. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, his worship must be outstanding. if it's more so than what he does for Ohio State, that's pretty incredible. And I think we're called to be that passionate about who Jesus is and what Jesus has done for us. I mean, the Buckeyes might give you some joy on a Saturday afternoon, and Jesus gives you joy every day in life eternal. I mean,
but isn't it interesting to see the way that when your priorities are lined up, how one magnifies the other?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, definitely shines through.
Yeah. Because he couldn't talk about what he was doing as Big Nut without talking about his wife. He just couldn't do it. He said "we" every single time.
But it's those other two things that help even instill a little more joy.
Yeah. That's very cool.
In his other passions. So
that's very cool.
That's cool.
So there's this book, and you know me, I don't recommend books.
As he put one on my desk yesterday.
As I put one on your desk yesterday. I don't recommend books often, but when I do, it's because it's one that I found to be very, very helpful and meaningful. And there's a book, it's called Shape. It's by a guy named Eric Rees. And SHAPE is an acronym: spiritual gifts, heart, abilities, personality, and experiences. and how each of us has a unique shape in our lives. And it's the confluence of that shape, that sweet spot in the middle that ties all those things in, that really helps us to identify what our ministry and our mission is in life. And I mean, you just see the joy in the face of somebody who's figured out who it is that they are supposed to be. And so if that's something that you are kind of seeking after and trying to figure out, what it is life is supposed to, who it is God's calling you to be, what it is God's calling you to do. That's one that I would definitely highly recommend. And then don't just read it, but then talk with somebody about it. Because a big part of it, I think, is other people can speak that into your life also. The people who know you well and trust you and that you trust can really help you identify where some of your gifts are that you might not necessarily see in yourself. So have you ever done any of those kind of things, like those spiritual gift surveys and things like that?
Yes, there's the Brax the one
Braxton Hicks. No, that's false contractions. You're thinking of Myers-Briggs.
Myers-Briggs.
Braxton Hicks are false contractions.
Yes.
When you're that's got to go on the Dan and Dave best of compilation right there. Go ahead.
So there's that one, which everybody's done, but there's one called Strength Finder 2.0.
Yes, Strength Finder is another good one.
2.0
Yes.
is the one that, and what I like about that one is, there's so many of these things that lean into, well, here's the 10 things that you're good at, so be good at all of them. But the Strength Finder says, Joe Montana was a really great quarterback. Mm-hmm. So there was no reason for him to try and be the kicker.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, here's the 10 things that you're really good at. Here's the top 3. Really lean into those and delegate the other things that you're not so hot at.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
because we do have a tendency to try to just improve on our weaknesses all the time. And there's something to be said for that. I mean, if empathy isn't a strength for you, it doesn't mean you never have to be empathetic to someone.
Right.
But really
your strengths
hone in
evolve,
on the things that you're strength.
And it could be, your strength could be while somebody's in labor holding their hand and
Braxton Hicks. That's so funny. I love that. And wow. All right, a couple of things I want to let people know about church before we wrap up today, because we are getting close to that time. Want to let you know that we are going to be reopening in person on January 24th. So this Sunday will be our last one that's just fully online, 10 a.m. Starting the following week on the 24th, we will have worship services in person at 9 a.m. for traditional service. We're for sure doing children's Sunday school at 10 a.m. And then probably the adult Sunday school classes. We'll let you guys know. And then 11:15 contemporary service. And we will also be live streaming, God willing, in the River Don't Rise. We'll be live streaming the 11:15 service as well. So that if you're not comfortable coming back yet, that's totally fine. Watch us online. We'd love for you to join us for that. Still doing the masks, still doing the social distancing, but it'll be a chance for us to get back together for those who feel comfortable doing so. And if not, again, we'll have it online for you continued after that. Youth stuff is going to be kind of kicking back into gear.
Yes, and we're starting with the fall retreat.
The fall retreat in January.
The fall retreat from, I feel like it's the fall retreat from 2019.
It does.
Let's back up a little bit. We were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
We were leaving that Friday for our retreat last year, a year ago, and in 2019, and the place burned down.
Burned to the ground.
So we postponed, and then this year, of course, we had to, again, very last second. It was actually Thursday. We were supposed to leave Friday. We got canceled because of governor's orders and stuff. And so we've now shifted it, and So the cool thing is we picked up a couple extra kids, and it'll be a good time. That's how we're going to kick off this year. We're going to start we're leaving on the 29th, and we are getting back on the 31st. If you want to go, your child wants to go, sign them up. It's on our website under events.
Yep.
You can sign them up there. I'm not even collecting money until we get back, just in case,
Just in case something.
Or-
What else could happen?
in case you get quarantined, in case you get,
I shouldn't
whatever.
say that. What else could happen? Burn down,
I don't
global
wanna know.
pandemic. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Tidal wave off Lake Erie. I don't know.
Goodness, Loch Ness monster comes in.
Yes.
So yes, youth stuff starting back up. For now, continue, and we'll let you know what's going to happen with that. But continue to watch for on Wednesdays. Corinne posts the Spark Kids Online videos, so check those out for the kiddos. And we're starting to move towards some of this kind of reopening stuff, and we're excited about it. Excited to see all of that happen. Final thing I want to say today. We have among us a man who is not only running all of our technology and making all the buttons go right and everything like that, but he will also make you a delicious meal at Logan's. Almost anytime you go in there, he's probably there. So James has been working there some too, he just goes there. He makes food, comes here, works miracles, and plays beautiful music, and then goes back and makes more delicious food.
Dan,
And beautiful music.
Beautiful
you guys just treat me like
Logan's.
you would any other great man.
So kudos to you, Mr. Adkins, and
Thank you for your voodoo that keeps our show running.
But we have to do it twice. We have to start out twice every time.
hey, that's all right. That's all right. Thank you so much to John Big Nut Peters for being with us today, and we may have another guest next week. I don't want to get into who it is yet, but there may be another one next week that is also probably too good for our show. But we're gonna see what we can make happen. So stay tuned for all of that. I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it. All right.
It's
Hey,
been a great show. We got some best of clips.
we did get some best of clips today for sure. Thank you so much for being with us. Enjoy your day. Everybody stay safe out there. James, is this a new guitar?
It is the new guitar.
The new
yeah.
guitar. All right. Play us
from
out on our
Bedell.
theme song, buddy.
One of the best guitar companies out there. All right, here
Sponsored by Bedell Guitars.
It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
See y'all later. Take care.
Bye.
we go.